Hi, I'm Chris Jordan, and in the next two videos, we're going to be looking at the BULATS short listening question focusing on charts and trends. And these questions are really common and they require you to understand what's being said about a chart or a graphic. So in this question, you are usually given three charts and you'll listen to a recording of around 20 seconds in length, and then you have to select the correct chart. Now, in this video, we're going to practice listenings with three kinds of chart: bar charts, line charts, and pie charts. So, first of all, many charts show trends or changes over time. So before we look at the question, let's look at 10 keywords or phrases that can help us to talk about this kind of change. These are all very common words with the basic meaning of going up or becoming more. Rise, increase, grow, improve, and go up. Notice we do say go up, but not grow up, because that means become an adult. So only children are ever going to grow up. These words have a basic meaning of going down: fall, decrease, drop, and go down. And remember, we do say go down but not fall down, because that means have an accident. These words or phrases are also commonly used to talk about trends, so it's really important to learn them too. Level off, remain steady, remain flat, fluctuate, and reach a peak. Most of these words are likely to be familiar to you, but you also need to be able to recognize them when you hear them. An electronic or online dictionary will be helpful for this, and so will more BULATS practice. We're familiar with how to do these short listening questions from our short listening introduction and short listening numbers videos. And it would be a really good idea to watch those first if you haven't seen them already. For the chart questions in BULATS, the question is often, which is the correct chart? Still, be prepared though, as there could be a more specific question sometimes. Okay, the next thing you need to do is to look at each chart and describe quickly to yourself what you see. This helps make sure you're clear about what each chart shows before you listen, and this will make you more successful in getting the right answer. Let's try with this bar chart question.
Which is the correct chart?
Okay, let's start by looking at the company's performance over the last 4 years. After a reasonable first year, there was a slight improvement in year 2, but little change in the following year. However, things did get better in year 4, and this may be because of the poor performance of its closest competitors.
Now let's listen again to confirm our answer. As you listen, follow the changes and make sure the chart is correct. If not, which chart does show the same trend?
Which is the correct chart?
Okay, let's start by looking at the company's performance over the last 4 years. After a reasonable first year, there was a slight improvement in year 2, but little change in the following year. However, things did get better in year 4, and this may be because of the poor performance of its closest competitors.
So here's what you heard. Can you show your answer is correct? So let's follow this company's performance. In year 2, a slight improvement, so it did go up a little. Then little change in year 3, so it didn't change much. And finally, in year 4, there was an improvement, so this must be the correct chart. In a moment, we're going to try a question with a line chart. But before we do, let's think for a moment of what things we're likely to see shown in these charts. Now, in BULATS, you're often going to see charts that report on sales or costs, revenue perhaps, income, production, profitability, website visits, use and or usage. Now of course, these tend to be things that are very common company activities or company objectives, so they're important words in general too, not just for the BULATS exam. Now, are you ready? We're going to try another line chart and we're going to follow the same steps we used when we listened to the bar chart question. Remember, use the second listening to check your answer and make sure it's correct.
Which chart is correct?
Well, look what's happened to profitability. It's not good. It started quite high and we were expecting it to go up, but it hasn't, as you can see here. In fact, it fell for most of the year. True, it did improve a little at the end of the year, but I don't think anyone will be happy with that.
Which chart is correct?
Well, look what's happened to profitability. It's not good. It started quite high and we were expecting it to go up, but it hasn't, as you can see here. In fact, it fell for most of the year. True, it did improve a little at the end of the year, but I don't think anyone will be happy with that.
Okay, so you have an answer. Let's see if we can prove it's right. Okay, so it started high, and although they thought it would continue to go up, it actually fell for most of the year. And it did get better at the end, but it still wasn't great. So it must be this one. In addition to showing changes or trends, charts are often used to show amounts. So let's look at some key language. First, as well as talking about percentages, there is other language we can use too. How can you describe these amounts? A half, a third, a quarter, a fifth, 3/4. Now, if we were listening to someone describing this pie chart, what would we be likely to hear? Well, we might hear a sentence like this, but what word or maybe phrase could go in the gap? Well, we might actually hear something like this. Laptops represent, or laptops account for 20% of the total. So let's try another BULATS question, and we're going to try a pie chart this time. And of course, don't forget to follow all the steps we've already looked at on how to do these questions.
Which chart is correct?
Our electricity bill has gone up recently, so we decided to check which parts of the restaurant are using the most energy. It's quite clear that we're spending the most on preparing food. But refrigeration and heating are both quite big expenses too. In fact, they each account for about 1/4 of the overall cost. The other cost is cleaning, and that makes up about 15%.
Which chart is correct?
Our electricity bill has gone up recently, so we decided to check which parts of the restaurant are using the most energy. It's quite clear that we're spending the most on preparing food. But refrigeration and heating are both quite big expenses too. In fact, they each account for about 1/4 of the overall cost. The other cost is cleaning, and that makes up about 15%.
And again, before we check the answer, can you prove your answer is correct? Okay, so as you see, the biggest cost is food preparation, with refrigeration and heating accounting for 1/4 each. In other words, each is 25% of the total, and cleaning is 15%, so this one must be the right chart. So in this video, we've looked at 3 different types of chart question: bar charts, line charts, and pie charts. and these are the 3 most common kinds of chart in the BULATS exam. We've also taken a little bit of time to look at some of the key language you're going to need. Well, we hope all of this gives you more confidence in understanding someone talking about a chart or a graphic. However, if you want to prepare yourself to deal with a more detailed chart question or description, then I recommend the Charts and Trends video 2, which is the next video in this series. Thank you for watching today, and good luck with your BULATS exam.